video, we move to chapter 3, the ArchiMate language structure. Within this one we will split that into several lectures to explain that in quite a detailed way. So this video we will talk about ArchiMate language design consideration. So I retrieve those detailed contents from the PDF file. So you can see it's this 3.1. So I can put that like 3.1. Then we can have those in quite detail. So you can look at the mind map, which is the bigger word is to see. So first, the consideration are based on our key challenge in developing our general meta model. So the ArchiMate language is not provide you some specific meta model. So which means if you are working in some the actual industry like is manufacturing or government or financial services or insurance or military is not our direct meta model that you can use, but you can find the generic meta model information from ArchiMate language for building the enterprise architecture. That is similar like is TOGAF is the open group this architecture this the framework is also a general the architecture framework and some other the industry or the areas like is the U.S. The government or U.S. military defense. They also have this DODAF, for example, that is the defense the areas. They also build a certain this reference framework based on TOGAF. So this it can be find this certain the different meta model. I will mention that in the later. Some of my also use the other tool, and you can find the meta model as well. From those, you can find the shadow of the ArchiMate from them. So, but let's see the our ArchiMate language. The design, the consideration is based on the architecture for the enterprise and provide a general meta model to solve those key challenges. And these key challenges to strike a balance between the specificity of language for individual architecture domain and a very general set of the architecture concepts. When you want to provide a general meta model, you always need such kind of the balance. And these reflect a view of the system as a mere set of the interrelated entities. But finally, is now already 3.2. Well, if you use some earlier the version of ArchiMate, you can see that they also have a big evolve. Is the earlier version may only have those core the framework because we only have those can be extract like is the business layer, application layer, and the technology layer. Only gradually is when ArchiMate is used more and more and contribute back from the reflection by different areas architect practice. Then we can see, or we can expand that to the strategy layer, and then expand to the motivation layer, then to go to the transformation, to go to the implementation and migration layer. So all of those are the step by step, but now I can see the 3.2 is also trying to cover as much as possible already. and at the same time, is ArchiMate is going to the point is we also need to consider further abstracting. So we don't mention this in during this specific document for now, but if you based on last video I introduced you the ArchiMate community, if you look at their live discussion, is there's also kind of topic trying to see whether we should consolidate certain common notation, which now is separate in business application and the technology layer. I can briefly show you here. So if you look at those notation, you may see like this one is the application events. The event as our notation also in the business layer as well as in the technology layer. That is exact the same like this is the function, here is the function, here is the function. And similar for those is 5 or 6 common set. So the open question is why we need to have the same shape notation but separate that into the 3 different layers. Are they really understood by the stakeholder? The question always popping up is not by only by our enterprise architect team, is because we can ask ourselves to improve the tool, but the ultimate goal, finally, the tool should be serve your stakeholder and making that as a common communication language tool. So that is the thing is if we build some diagram, and when we have also the cross layer, the diagramming, the artifacts, are they really clear enough or not over complicated to our stakeholder? So is this really make sense? We separate those same notation into different color, not only color, but different layer, different concept or different meaning. So if that is the way is we can further improve, then you may say possible in 3.3 or 4.0 is we are consolidate and merging certain the notation to make that simpler. Until the 3.2 from the earlier version is we can see we keep adding more and more concept and notation, but now is the time is to think about is how that really make the things can be simpler a little bit. And the second one, the consideration is that the design of the ArchiMate language start from a set of the relative generic concept. So those generic concept is has been specialized towards application at different architecture layer, as explained in later function. So we're starting from some special situation, then let's try to abstract to certain the generic view. The most important design restriction here is the restriction is you need to put in mind is the it has been explicitly designed to be as small as possible, but still usable for most enterprise architecture modeling tasks. So you may say here is if you consider a language, so English has 26 the vocabularies, alphabet, and different language they also have some basic alphabet, or Mandarin has if you need to learn the every character is about 5,000 for 6,000, which you can fluent to speak on that language. But if you look at ArchiMate language, it looks like it's no more than 30, 40 different notation and just 11 different relations. So it looks like it's a very small case and small sets. So that is one of our key data consideration. So we already make enough level of the abstraction is make the ArchiMate language very simple. So we can see it's as small as possible, but that we should see is we try to make that as a restriction. Very careful is to add one more notation, but with those already consolidated notations, you can already uh, able to build our complicated enterprise architecture model. So in my current company's practices, we use Archi tool, but we fully adopt ArchiMate language, and we already build our repository more than 30,000 element plus the relationship. So that is the one sample is it can be supporting your enterprise architecture, the building the repository, and then this make that bigger and bigger, and we can use that to facilitate project artifacts design, and also some catalog as the business architecture, business process, as well as the value stream. So when you have all of those elements putting together as a repository, you can try to use those simpler notation to create complicated output. But I should say is ArchiMate they have a design consideration. Until now, is you can see we have mentioned some basic those layers, business, application, technology, or physical. This is the strategy. This is the motivation. But looks like is we don't have our information layer, or some the information architect may ask for is where is my layer, where is the data layer. So that will always are open the questions to the ArchiMate as a language. Our ArchiMate should cover all kinds of these uh, architecture roles and all provide the tool for all kind of the architecture roles as their hands-on the tooling. So especially for this information layer and the data layer. So I gave you this link is just as one example, but I already keep observing this discussion quite several, I think it's already 3 years. It's triggered by Andrew Graph. It's a very interesting topic triggered is how ArchiMate can cope with information and data modeling. Are we going to extend to cover those, or are we trying to limit our ArchiMate languages are as abstract as possible and treat information and data modeling is should be done by the other more the suitable tool. But at the same time, is we need to answer is if we use ArchiMate as our enterprise architecture, the language to describe the EA landscape. When we touch base on the information architecture domains, when we have a certain stakeholder want to see, you need to embed the information architecture within the overall architecture transformation journey. What kind of the notation is better we can use from the existing specification. So welcome you to read this. It has the back and forth, and also some people is supporting to extend our ArchiMate language to cover the this information modeling layer. Some arguments they say is we should limit our the ArchiMate language and not cover so detail of those information layer. With those is I hope is you can read and get some feeling about the consideration when the team designed the ArchiMate as our language for the modeling. So then I hope is I give you the some the background and explanation about this 3.1. Next video is we will go to the top level language structure as well as this layer of the ArchiMate altogether. So see you in 3.2 and 3. Okay, bye for now.